Welcome to In the Spotlight with your host, Bernadette Manalo.
Hi, I'm your host, Bernadette Manalo, here with my wonderful guest, Dr. Susan Mikula. She's a history professor here at Benedictine. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy it, I think.
So I just want to know a little bit more about you. So how long have you been teaching here at Benedictine?
I've been at Benedictine 37 years.
And how has those 37 years been?
Excellent. I love teaching and I really enjoy my time every day, most of the days in class.
Was teaching something that you always knew that you wanted to do?
Pretty much. I knew I wanted to go to grad school. I thought about being an archaeologist, but then I decided that modern European history was what really interested me. So yes.
Yeah. So you teach several history classes here at Benedictine. Could you tell me a little bit about them, such as your classes on converging hemispheres, immigration and women's rights and stuff like that?
Well, I primarily teach European history. So I
Okay.
teach Russian history, I teach 20th century Europe history, but I've also developed courses on women's history and on immigration and different topics that I think integrate different periods and different issues of history.
And specifically, could you tell us more about your class on women?
Well, it started in grad school when I was told that it was a waste of time to educate women
Oh.
because they got married, and then it was, an education. I had a full ride for a PhD,
Oh.
and they said it was too bad that I got it because I wasn't going to stay. And so I said to the director of the graduate program, I said, so why did I get this? And he said, well, unfortunately, you were the best qualified.
Oh.
And I found that early in my career, there was a lot of resistance to women in academia. And as a historian, I also became aware of the fact that history silences a lot of voices. And one of the voices that is silenced most frequently is the voice of women. And so after a few years here at Benedictine, I got the idea of developing a course on women's history.
And I think classes like that are something that everybody should take. And
I agree, especially the men.
And I know you also have a class on immigration. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, that's in the last year and a half, it's been a hot topic, politically, of course. And so in these IDS courses, I was looking for issues that I think are critical to understand and to see different perspectives as opposed to some of the material that's presented without any real foundation. And so a year and a half ago, I developed a course on immigration, and now I'm teaching it for the third time because I think it's really important. It's an issue that really needs to be explored in depth and from different perspectives.
Yeah, and it's definitely a class that everybody should take because, especially like you said, immigration is a very heated topic today, and a lot of people are very ignorant about and stuff like that. Why did you want to create these classes?
To me, college is the point at which you explore different topics. And you explore them and try to integrate different ideas. You look at the different topics and how do they interact. History is not that boring list of names and dates. You can always look those up.
Yeah.
History is about attempting to understand what happened. I heard a quote that I think is really great.
And could you share that quote with us after we come back from the
Okay.
commercial break? And when we come back, we'll be talking about Dr. Mikula's story of how she escaped her home country and came here as an immigrant.
Okay.
Welcome to Elite Sports Performance, a top baseball and softball training facility in Oswego, Illinois. Conduct team practices on our versatile turf field or take some swings in one of our batting cages. Condition during the off-season in our on-site gym, which features both free weights and machines. Perfect your hitting mechanics with our state-of-the-art equipment. Have one-on-one training sessions with our highly qualified staff. For all your baseball and softball training needs, come out to ESP, where today's preparation determines tomorrow's success.
This is Ben News for February. I'm Zachary Dunn. And I'm Zakir Majid. Here are today's top stories. On Wednesday, February 6th, Dr. James Austin, president of the JFA Institute, and Michelle Duster came to Benedictine to speak to the students and the staff about civil rights and the corrupt justice system we have here in the United States. Dr. Austin and Duster talked about separate issues during the event. Duster spoke on how the United States has always selected a couple of social groups to oppress, especially African American women. Dr. Austin's main focus was to evaluate the criminal justice system and how a person that has served his or her full prison sentence can no longer have the same rights as a person with no record. Ben News' Austin Todner spoke with Dr. Patrick Polasic about the event.
Do you think the amount of money people have, do you think it changes how the cops or law enforcement actually looks at people compared to how like, say if you are a minority and but you have a lot of money, would that change the person, like the law's outlook on you, or is it still more like deeper than that?
At the law enforcement level, I don't think that it would necessarily matter, but what you end up seeing with, socioeconomic status playing a major role ends up becoming like jail. Like this, our entire system is if you have money, you can be bailed out while you're waiting for trial. If you don't have any money, basically what they're going to do is, prosecutors are going to say, like, how about you plead guilty to this so you can get out of jail? And that's the only way that you're actually going to be able to get out in some type of reasonable amount of time. So in that case, the socioeconomic status of the person absolutely matters. Now, there's a big debate, though, in sociology on whether it's, is it race, is it class, is it intersectionality, like how do we kind of look at this type of thing? And the reality is, even when we look at, if you can control for socioeconomic status, you actually see that race is the major factor that influences this decision. So Dr. Austin and I disagree slightly when it comes to that issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Love is in the air as the Benedictine Black Student Union hosted their second annual Love and Excellence Ball. This year's event, which was held in the Daniel L. Goodwin Hall, was highlighted by the honoring of Miss O.C. Davenport, Mrs. Kathy Gaddis, and keynote speaker Torian Richardson. In addition, Reverend Linda Owens spoke on behalf of her scholarship, in which all proceeds from the event went towards. Eye of the Eagles' Isaiah Gransberry spoke with Kewan Stokes and Torian Richardson about the event.
My name is Isaiah Gransberry, and we're here with
Kewan Stokes,
Mr. Torian Richardson, here at the Love and Excellence Ball at Benedictine University. So, Kewan, tell me, what is this? What is this event for?
So the Black Student Union 1 year ago, because this is our second annual Love and Excellence Ball, started a scholarship named after Reverend Linda Owens, who was like the crutch for black students here at Benedictine University. She supported so many of them, and what they wanted to do with her retiring was give her something that would last forever here at the university, and what better to do as a scholarship, and a scholarship that can be endowed, something that the school must renew every year. So that's why we do this event, definitely to show our appreciation for her and for everybody else in the Benedictine community who really takes care of black students who really need it here.
We are celebrating two attributes of the human experience that are fundamental to success. Love, in a broader sense, being able to give and empower other people, and then excellence. That starts with yourself, but then having that expectation of others as well. So the combination of the two, with all these great young students here at Benedictine University, man, there's not another place you need to be. Listen, if you are not here at Love and Excellence, you're missing out. I talked about courageous vulnerability, which is vitally important. You have to start asking yourself some tough questions internally and dealing with the holistic part of the human experience. So it's not just the academic parts, it's emotional intelligence, it's cultural intelligence, it's IQ intelligence, and being able to be a holistic person so that you are actually expanding. The earlier you start to do that, the more impact that you can have, not only on your own business, but in the world.
Thank you so much for your time.
The Mendi Formal is an event used to promote South Asian culture through food, singing, and dancing. The theme is Mendi Formal, which is a mock wedding event. The event was planned by the South Asian Student Association President and Vice President, Shazar Nawaz and Alma Khalid. The event took place in Goodwin 411 at the banquet hall from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. There was an open dance floor with DJ Tamasha. There was also choreographed dances created by the SASA board members. It was a night filled with rich South Asian culture. Ben News' Rian Baraki has more.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rian Baraki, and I'm here from Ben News. I'm here with Shazor and Elma, President and Vice President of SASA. Can both of you guys tell me a little bit about the menu?
Yeah, so this menu formal is for students to come together and enjoy the South Asian culture. So we're going to have dancing, we'll have food, and just a way for students to come and have some fun.
And what's your favorite part about this event?
I just love that everyone comes and dances. That's pretty much the best part.
So what significance does the event bring to our school?
Yeah, so at Benedictine University, we really try to push for diversity, and I think through this, another cultural organization, we're able to share our culture so that students can be more aware and have more fun with other people's ethnicity.
And it's the first year that this event has been going on, and no? And do you think that this is an event that you guys want to be having in the next few years?
Yeah, we'll be having this.
Okay, well, everything looks great, so it looks nice. Once again, my name is Rian Baraki, and I'm here reporting from Ben News.
At the start of the month, Benedictine University announced the closing of Ernie's Market, located in the main floor of Krause. This is the second change the university has announced since beginning the renovations to the dining room in Krause. The changes in both Krause and Kinlan are caused by the university's vision to revamp the Benedictine students' dining experience. Eye of the Eagles' Janelle Benitez spoke with the Vice President of Student Life, Marco Massini, to discuss what shutting down Ernie's Market means to students.
Hi, my name is Janelle. I'm interviewing Marco Massini here today. How are you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out to meet with us. So we just wanted to meet with you and see how the adjustments are going with the CRASA, with all the changes, renovations. So you want to give us a little bit of information regarding that?
Yes. Well, as you're aware, the communication was sent that there's construction going on the second floor of CRASA. And it's renovations and updates to the dining room. So that should be ready, and the goal is August for the new school year.
For August, and then they've closed down also the Ernie's Market. Has there been any upset within that, or what was caused to make that decision to remove the Ernie's Market?
Okay. What we've decided to do is expand the hours in the Kinlan Cafe, and then moving items there, and also in the Goodwin Coffee Shop also. So we've expanded those opportunities for all the students. That's the decision that we made there.
Is there going to be construction going on now in Kinlan?
Yeah, we plan to do that construction in the summer. So when the students come back, they'll have the CRASA dining room and also the newly, rather than a cafe, they haven't determined the name, but the Kinlan Market may be a good name, but it will be expanded services for the students and also have opportunity for students to eat there, also like a bank of chairs and looking out the window. So we plan to have a design so the students can see what the plans are for in August when everybody returns.
And just like how you said, so if there's any students or faculty that have concerns or want to suggest any ideas, how is it that we can get in contact with you or anyone else on the team to contribute these ideas?
I would hope they simply email me or come visit my office in CRASA. So I would hope people directly talk to me or send a quick email.
All right, so that's that. We just have to send an email in order to let our voices be heard. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Fraternities and sororities are common amongst many universities. As of this semester, they became a reality for Benedictine students. After 4 years of debate, Benedictine officially has its first fraternity, Tau Kappa Epsilon. Eye of the Eagles' Alexis Taglia spoke with David Banda about Benedictine's first fraternity.
How does somebody join the fraternity?
So I'm glad you asked me that question. So as of today, Valentine's Day, I just became the recruitment chair for the fraternity. So how does someone join the fraternity? Really, all it is if any young man is interested in it and wants to learn more about it, all he has to do is reach out to me or any other TKE members, and we could help them, answer them with any questions that they have or concerns that they might have in the future. We can invite them to certain events that we're going to be planning throughout the school year. And yeah, we're really an honest, open bunch, and if you want to find out more about us, come and feel free to talk to us.
Okay. And where are some of the meetings or events going to be so people can become more involved?
So at the moment, we don't really have Greek housing on campus, which is totally fine. We have weekly meetings every Thursday in the Kraza presentation room at 6 o'clock.
What are some things you wish more people knew about TKE?
When you think of a frat, you might have a negative stigma about it, or just think of any kind of stereotype that you would associate with a frat. And that's kind of the same thing I thought before I joined and learned more about it. However, that really isn't the case with TKE. Once you join, you realize that a lot of it is devoted towards community service, helping your fellow man, doing philanthropy works. So for TKE, a really big part of our organization is donating any kind of money or funding to St. Jude's Children's Hospital for cancer research. That is one of our main goals, and honestly, you could come and find out more about it from us.
Okay. Thank you very much, David, for this interview. It's been a great time. I'm Alexis Taglia, signing off with Ben News.
Milan Kozar, a Czech-American graphic artist and illustrator who passed away in 2011, was an undiscovered folk artist. Over 400 pieces of his work have been donated to the Komachak Art Gallery. Milan Kozar's first ever art exhibit, titled Life and Love, is currently up for display. The show will be available for public viewing through February 28th. Ariana Poe spoke with professor and curator Teresa Parker to find out a bit more about this artist.
So I'm Ariana Poe with Ben U News, and we're in the 5th floor of the Kindlin Hall. And this is the Komachak Art Gallery, and I'm here with Miss Parker. She is a professor and a curator here at Benedictine University. Could you tell us a little bit about, I read in the blurb that this is Milan Kozar's first exhibition ever. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
We were approached by Milan Kozar's lawyer, a state lawyer. His widow was trying to find a place for placing his artwork. They didn't want to dispose of it. He had passed away around 2011, and they were looking for a place to have the work at least be preserved. So they contacted us and asked if we were interested, because they were looking for a Czech-Slovak institution to donate it to, and that's our heritage, is Czech-Slovak. So we said, of course, we'd be very interested to have it. So they eventually donated over 400 pieces to us.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I noticed that a lot of his art varies. Like there's some family-centered pictures. Some of them are a bit surreal, like there's a dog over there on wheels, and some are a bit abstract. Could you tell us a bit about his style?
Well, his style evolved over time. He was trained as a graphic designer and had studied art and art history in the Czech Republic. Came here to the United States, studied art a little on his own. I would say he kept up on his own in practicing examples of optical illusion works and whatnot. But a lot of the works that we have that are smaller works on paper come from what seemed to be family travel trips. Okay. So for me, it was all about looking at, these are the things that he loved to do, people he loved, places he loved to go to, and then for himself, mental challenges, I would say, through optical illusion. So it was a wide variety of subject, and we just had to narrow it down to about 30 pieces that we could say were representative of those 3 basic themes.
Perfect, and thank you so much, Ms. Parker, for your time. It's been lovely meeting with you.
Ben U at a Glance was held on Friday, February 9th in the Goodwin Hall of Business. The purpose of the event was to promote Benedictine University and their organizations to high school students who have an interest in the university. The students learned about Benedictine's academic programs and got a chance to meet with the faculty members as well. Eye of the Eagles' Vios Karagiannis spoke with Benedictine admissions counselor Brandon Timmons about the event.
Hello. This is Vios Karagiannis from Ben U News. I'm here in Goodwin Hall with Braden Timmons, who is an admissions counselor here at Benedictine. So, Braden, would you mind telling us about this event, Ben U at a Glance?
Yeah, absolutely. So what this event is essentially doing is we're trying to get prospective students to come see the campus for the first time. We're welcoming brand new students to campus. We're very excited to have them here today, and I really hope that they get a very good experience seeing what Benedictine is all about. So that's exactly what we're doing today.
What is the importance of the event?
The importance of the event is to get students on campus. You know, enrollment numbers are always going to be important to us, and we want to make sure that students come to this school, you know, that want a really good community feel experience. So that's why we want them here. We want them to see what Benedictine University is all about, and we can't wait to see what they think of it at the end.
Thank you, Braden. This is Vios Karagianis from Benue News. Thank you.
It's almost time, once again, for Benedictine's annual teach-in. On March 4th, students across campus will be able to attend these lectures. This year's topics are environmental justice, stability, and inclusivity. The keynote speakers for the year include Dr. Susan Buchanan from the University of Illinois Chicago and Director Steve James from the production America to Me. Eye of the Eagle's Sajina Jacob spoke to Mr. Carl Constant, one of the event's coordinators, about the program.
Hi, this is Sajina Jacob with Eye of the Eagle. Today I am with Mr. Carl Constant, the Assistant Director of Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity here at Benedictine University. March is fast approaching, and that means it's time for our annual teach-in. Today we are going to discuss some of the topics for our teach-in this year. So what are the main topics for the teach-in?
So there are going to be two main keynote speakers this year at the teach-in. The first one will speak Dr. Susan Buchanan, and she's going to speak on environmental justice and sustainability. And the second keynote speaker will be Stephen James, which is a filmmaker, and it's going to be talking about inclusivity.
So what can Benedictine students expect from the teach-in this year besides the keynote speakers, like for the concurrent sessions?
The concurrent sessions, some of the sessions go around some environmental justice issues for the morning portion, and the afternoon portion will deal with more of the inclusive part on how to make kind of like our school more inclusive, how to make kind of our society more inclusive.
How do the topics for the teach-in tie in with Benedictine's core values?
If you look at Benedictine's hallmarks, you will see that within there you can fit in all the things that happen on the teach-in for there. Specifically in our hallmarks, it mentions sustainability and love for Christ and neighbor. And I think that fits in with both parts of the teach-in.
Thank you for joining us today. This was Sajina Jacob with Eye of the Eagle.
Welcome to Southland Center, Ho-Chunk Nation, where athletes train and come together indoors. Elevate your game offensively in our top-notch batting cage, or come to the turf field to throw, field, or run. Come train in our professional center to enhance strength, conditioning, speed, power, agility, core flexibility, and injury prevention. Grab a bite in our Grill and Bar restaurant, where we have every food and drink imaginable. We invite you to experience all that Southland Center has to offer, located in Linwood.
Welcome back to sports. I'm Zakira Majid.
And I'm Zachary Dunn. Our top story is that February 15th, head football coach Brad McCaslin has resigned from the position. He has decided to rejoin the staff at the University of Buffalo. The Eagle football team had an unsuccessful season with a 3-7 record in McCaslin's first year. The Eagles are on a search for their 30th head coach in program history. Eye of the Eagles' Derek Jones spoke with McCaslin about his resignation.
What are your, universal, aspects, that you're looking for a team when you're going out looking for a coaching job?
The most important part of that in terms of a coaching job is the people you're going to be spending your time with, the people you're going to work with, and then the people you're going to be coaching and have an opportunity to work with. I think that that's a make it or break it scenario when in this profession. Yeah.
Next question is, if you coached at all three levels, question for me was just the financial aspects. Division I players, get athletic scholarships, full rides. Division II, some of them do, some of them don't. Halfway. Division III doesn't get athletic scholarships at all. So my question to you is: does any expectations change, academically or athletically on and off the field?
You know what? They in the business of it, they do, because if a football program is making an investment in an individual, then they have responsibilities with that investment. That's the business side of it, and there's a lot of people in this profession that operate that way. I think in the truth of it, if you're trying to achieve the right things, the objectives that you should be after in this profession, then it would be indifferent of a scholarship, indifferent of football. It would be primarily after your best in the day, in the activity, and whatever you're working on. And if you're after that, athletically, academically, the results are going to be the same no matter how you get there. I know that leaving here, that the future is bright. And one is it's because of the saying is you win with people, and there are really good people here in the program, both in a leadership role, administratively, and a leadership role within the program. I think that I think there's tremendous opportunity for this football program to succeed, and having stable footing right now, knowing what division, knowing what direction, having the confidence of a known conference and the previous success that's been had here, I think the future is very bright.
Thank you. And that's all the time we have for now. This is Derek Jones with Ben News.
Benedictine men's lacrosse team was suddenly left out to dry as their previous head coach, Guy Borden, resigned earlier this semester. Without a head coach and the season quickly approaching, many players were afraid they wouldn't have a season. With the help and dedication of Benedictine's athletic director, Mark McOrney, the team was able to find a new coach just in time. Eye of the Eagles' Tommy Tillett had a chance to talk to the new head coach about his thoughts on how this change might impact the upcoming season.
Hi, I'm Tommy Tillett, here with Eye of the Eagle, here with the new Benedictine men's lacrosse coach, Coach Chris Button. So, Coach, how you doing?
Good. Thanks, Tom.
So, first question, from a coaching aspect, how did Coach Borden leaving affect you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Coach Guy and I had quite the relationship, coming from Lemoyne. He was my assistant coach when I was a player. We built a nice rapport. And then, big reason why I moved out here from Boston was to coach with Coach Guy and previous assistant coach, Coach Westerhoff. And this news kind of came as a shock to me. We had started the season, and then Guy, for his own well-being, got the Assumption head coaching position. He was definitely wanted to be a Division II coach for, his entire career. And this opportunity allowed him to, move on to the next step of his coaching phase.
Awesome. So again, with this leave, how do you think it's going to affect your players going forward through the season? How do you think it's going to affect their play and affect how they want to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Coach Guy obviously did a phenomenal job while he was here. He did a great job when I was the, player at Lemoyne College. I think, my philosophy and my mentality, as well as, Coach Devin and Coach Moran, who have come on the staff, have a little bit of more of like a leisure, more of a fun way of coaching. We kind of roll the ball out and say, here's what you can do, here's what you shouldn't do, go play. Where I think, last year we were more like, hey, X's and O's, this guy goes here, this guy goes there, and I feel like sometimes we played too robotic versus just letting the kids play. We just want to play lacrosse. We want to make it fun, we want to make it enjoyable, and I think for our upcoming season, the more fun we have, the more wins we'll get, the more teams will be. Our captains are very good leaders, and I think from freshmen all the way up to seniors there's no like, hey, I'm a senior, you're a freshman, you do this, you do that. I think, for our season coming forward we just need to continuously come together, and I could definitely think those first weeks, their heads were spinning all over the place, what is going on here? And I think now we've kind of built that rapport where kids trust myself, trust Coach Moran, trust Coach Devin, and I think moving forward we'll be in good shape.
Thank you, Coach. I really appreciate it. Once again, this is the head men's lacrosse coach, Chris Button, and I'm Tommy Tillett, and this is Eye of the Eagle. Thank you.
The Benedictine men's volleyball team has been dominating the competition over the first half of their season. The Eagles are ranked 5th nationally with an impressive 9-1 record and showed out with successful doubleheader victories against number 9 ranked North Central College and Lakeland University Friday night. Elijah Medlock led the way, tallying up the career-high 25 kills in the match against North Central. Tremendous team play has been a crucial part of their success this year, and all throughout their big games. Eye of the Eagles' Joey Spahn talked with Tommy Samaras about playing and preparing in big games.
I'm Joey Spahn with Eye of the Eagle News, and I'm here with Tommy Samaras, a libero on the men's volleyball team. How you doing, Tommy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good, good. So I have a few questions for you. So my first question for you is, you've had a lot of big games this season, but what do you think has been the biggest game for you so far?
So far, it definitely has to be the Carthage match. It put us in the top 5 rankings, and we haven't, as a program, we haven't beaten them in years.
Okay.
It was pretty huge, but overall, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. What do you personally do to prepare for big matches like that?
Personally, I got to get my pregame caffeine in, of course.
Yep.
Got to get hyped. definitely stretch, get ready, listen to some music. But as a team, we like to meditate. We like to get our minds focused, free up our minds, get ready for the game, of course. Other than that, it's not much to it. Like, we just go out and play. We have a lot of
Absolutely,
fun.
absolutely. And what would you say that your most favorite part about being on the men's volleyball team is?
Ooh, that's a good question. My favorite part definitely has to be the winning environment that we've created. With that comes our family environment, obviously, and basically it's just a big ball of fun. Like, we're always enjoying ourselves. We're just winning, dude.
Yep.
There's nothing to it. Yeah. Overall, yeah.
All right, well, Tommy, I appreciate it. This has been Eye of the Eagle News. Thank you.
Men's basketball team soared to victory in the second half of their game against Lakeland. The 78-73 victory ensures a sixth straight winning season for the Eagles. Benedictine outshot Lakeland, hitting over 59% of their free throws, and they capitalized on second chance points. Eye of the Eagles' Justine Stamper spoke with Keegan Gravener and Walter Taylor regarding the keys to winning the game.
Hi, this is Justine Stamper with Benue Sports. I'm here today with Keegan Grebner and Walter Taylor. What do you think were the keys to winning today's game?
In the second half, we just offensive rebound very well, and we cleaned up defensively, and we just played harder in the second half.
Basically, we were playing as a team, communication and pushing the ball when we could, and just playing as a team.
What do you think your toughest opponent is in this division so far?
I mean, every night, everybody gives us their best game, and every night we get a tough game. So there's really no one opponent. It's really the whole league as a collective.
MSOE, they were number one in our league this year, and we just recently beat them this Wednesday. So that's a big win for us.
Ooh, good job. Any thoughts going into the next game?
Just trying to win and finish the season 2-0.
Okay, great.
All right.
Well, thanks so much, Keegan. Thank you so much for the interview. Appreciate it. This is Justine from Benue Sports. Have a good evening.
The Lady Eagles basketball team crushes the competition in a dominating 74-54 home matchup against Lakeland University. In a display of fortitude, Benedictine fought hard to retain their lead each quarter, despite Lakeland challenging to overtake them. Pushing past Lakeland now secures Benedictine a season record of 19-4. Eye of the Eagles' Sharif Tabaki spoke with Coach Avercamp about how they secured their win and the season as a whole.
This is Sharif Tabaki with Benue News, and I'm here with Coach Avercamp, head coach of the women's basketball team at Benedictine. Coach, this was a solid victory for your team. What was going right for you guys?
Well, I think we actually lost them up there early in the season, so we have been about 2 months, and we've really been looking forward to this one. But I think it's just our overall team depth. We keep 7 kids in, and kids making plays, and obviously Alex Fanning really took over right from the start, and she was real aggressive. And Deasia Williams, as a senior captain, really led us down the stretch.
And coming into this match, did you prep for any tendencies or weaknesses?
Yeah, we really focused on number 12 and 55 for them. They're obviously a very good team, obviously have a great record, and so we were real focused in on how we need to really stop them and kind of take away those two to really help us, and our team defense was unbelievable today.
You held the lead in every quarter, but you did let it slip a bit each time. What was going wrong for you?
Well, I think they're a good team, right? So they're going to make their run. So I give our credit that we jumped on them early, and we were really ready to play today. So that's all credit to the kids.
And final question for you, Coach. Looking at the season as a whole, how are you feeling about it and going forward?
Well, 19-4, so obviously a great record, but it's just a testament to we got some great kids who work really hard and who have really bought into our system, and we're excited for the next couple of games to finish here.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Appreciate it.
For many students, staying in shape and eating healthy can be difficult. Former Benedictine athlete Wesley Caceres talks about how he found his love for fitness through bodybuilding. Caceres showed us how he got started and how he was been able to stay on track while being away at school. Eye of the Eagles' Alex Mitchell sat down with Caceres as he explained the beginning of his fitness journey.
Hello, Benedictine. I'm Alex Mitchell, and I'm here with Wesley Caceres, former lacrosse and football player here at Benedictine. And Wesley has just picked up bodybuilding. So, Wesley, what can you tell us about how you first started bodybuilding?
Well, when I first started out, my brother initially, he was like, yo, I just started bodybuilding. I really like it. I think you'd really like it too. Try it out, start lifting consistently. And I tried it, and I love it, and it's all I do.
So I think a lot of times it's overlooked how much you actually need to learn and know when you first start bodybuilding. So knowing what you know now, Is there anything that you would do differently when you first started out?
Yeah, I would worry not so much about what I look like and worry more about form and fundamentals and making sure I'm lifting properly and getting those muscles activated correctly. That's definitely what I would do.
Yeah, form is definitely something that you need to stress when you're first starting bodybuilding. So, what would you recommend to a college student living in a dorm like you were at one point and sticking to a strict diet?
Well, you don't. Food's kind of, you don't have a big choice, especially if you're in a dorm. So you kind of have to be careful with what you're eating. You have to make sure you're getting plenty of protein, plenty of carbs. Watch the fats, but yeah, you definitely just have to eat healthy. Just what's healthy. Stay away from sodas. Stuff that can build up calories in small amounts over time throughout the day. So yeah, definitely. Dieting is very important.
Thank you for joining us, Wes. And once again, I'm Alex Mitchell, and this is Ben U News.
That's sports for February. I'm Zakira Majed.
And I'm Zachary Dunn. We'll see you again in March for a first look at Benedictine softball and baseball.
You know it's on your bucket list. Get off the couch and get in the sky at Skydive Chicago. 15,000 feet in the air, 60 seconds of freefall at 120 miles per hour. You've never experienced anything like this before. So there's just one question you have to ask yourself. What are you waiting for? Book your appointment today at Skydive Chicago in Ottawa, Illinois.
Welcome back to In the Spotlight.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bernadette Manalo again, here with my wonderful guest, Dr. McCullough. So before we left, we talked about your thoughts on immigration, when you yourself are actually an immigrant who escaped her country and came here to America. So could you tell us that story and what happened?
Okay, so I was born in what was Czechoslovakia, and the communists took over that country, and they were rounding up people. Eventually, my mother was taken to prison and tortured and let go. My uncle spent years in prison, and so it became clear that because of my family's social and political standing, that things were going to persistently get worse. And so through a long story of an underground, we escaped. I was 6.5, crawling all night with my 5-year-old sister and my mother, the entire night crawling with dogs and guards around. And so it was, it was a traumatic experience. I still remember it. In fact, as we crossed over into Austria, my mother turned us around and said, and the sun was coming up finally because we had been doing it all night, and she said, take a look at your country, you'll never see it again. Fortunately, I have been back many times because that's my research area. And so to come to America was, it was an asylum. It was a place to welcome the refugees. We were refugees. I was called a DP. I was a displaced person. And kids made fun of me because I didn't speak English, and in grade school and everything. The immigrant experience, it turned out to be a wonderful experience for us, of course. But I think that we as a people don't understand what people go through and what they contribute to America and how essential immigrants are to America.
Oh, yeah. And during that time, do you have any not regrets, but do you ever wonder what your life would have been like if you had stayed there?
Oh, yes. And, I was a child. I was 7 when I came to America, so I didn't have a choice. But I've thought about it, and my cousins all stayed behind, so we were the only members of the family that left. And had the communists not been there, I would have had a wonderful life. If the communists had been there, I would have not been allowed to study. I would not have allowed to get a degree or anything. And so I've been back many times after communism collapsed, and I love the country. As I said, most of my family is over there. So it's interesting, this idea of the melting pot is really not true, because you are Slovak and American, and you bring something to both parts of you, and you continue to stay as that Slovak American or Mexican American or, Palestinian American, Indian American. We have to recognize that that's the beauty of this culture.
And you've been through a lot, and what is, why do you think it's important for students to take classes on history of like communism and like immigration and women's rights? Like why do you think it's important?
Because honestly, the way we could fall into the trap of authoritarianism, we could fall into the trap of not thinking about things, we could fall into the trap of just following, ignorant ideas. And so it's absolutely essential as college students that you take charge. You're going to be the future, and I need you to, be aware and ready and take over.
And thank you so much for your time today. I'm Burnett Manalo with In the Spotlight.
The question of the month is,
If you had 24 hours to live,
You have 24 hours left to live.
What would you do? What would you do?
I'll probably go skydiving, deep sea fishing, swim with sharks.
Take everything out of my savings account and buy a plane ticket and probably travel the world as much as I can in that 24-hour period.
Gather all the people that I love around me so I can spend my last hours with them.
Go to the Running with the Bulls.
I'm definitely finna have to rob some banks, try to give my kids some money, because they is my future. So
after basketball and after eating my favorite food, I'd have to say just trying to get the best group of guys with some great energy to just to go out with, watch some funny movies or just laugh. Some
streak during a national football game. And that's all I can think of right now.
Interesting.
If you had 24 hours to live.
If you had 24 hours to live.
What would you do?
What would you do?
I'd probably go to Dubai
Dubai, why?
because it looks cool and I've never been there.
After I hoop and get my favorite foods, I'll probably go to Minnesota.
I would definitely grab a few of my friends, go deep sea fishing, some ocean sailing.
What I would do is I'd probably drive up to my favorite state, Wisconsin, and play some lacrosse with my boy, Joseph Lawrence, Spain. Just lax it up all day.
Probably sleep more than I normally do. I mean, nothing's going to change. I mean, it depends if I know or not if I'm going to live.
Interesting perspective.
I would spend every last minute in Hawaii.
Excellent. Thank you, Matt.
Do it all. I'm talking about we doing it at all. Everything, anything.
Doing it all right.
Due to it being President's Day today.
Can you guys name any of the presidents, and if so, in order?
How many presidents can you name in order?
Geez.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson.
George Washington, he's the 16th president.
Drawing a blank. And, yeah. If you feel like you can...
No, there's no way I get past George Washington before I forget.
Oh, okay. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison.
George Washington. It's about as far as I'm getting.
In order, probably not a lot. I can tell you George Washington was definitely the first one. John Adams was up there. That's about it. That's all I know for the first few.
Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan.
Oh my God, I do not know. There's George Washington, Abraham Lincoln.
In order?
Oh, in order. Okay. Totally can't do this. Oh, Barack Obama is the best president.
We got George Washington, R.I.P. Happy birthday to him. I don't know who was after that. I know Abraham Lincoln's in there somewhere. Can't forget Barack Obama. Can't forget Trump too.
Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Hayes, Garfield, Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison.
Trump, Barack Obama. We got George Washington. We got Bill. And then before Bill, it was
You meant Bush?
I said Bush, then Bill.
You said George Washington.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
George. How many presidents can you name in order?
None. I'm not from here, so I only know Barack and Trump, but I can't name anyone in order.
Interesting. Do you know who the first president was?
Abraham Lincoln, right?
No. Cleveland, McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, Coolidge. I don't know what happens after that, but.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much.
Who is it? Is it Sam Adams? No. Something Adams. Third? No, I'm not even gonna go to. That's it. That's all I do.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And showed out with successful double-header victories against it's going so slow. Sorry. Just a little faster. I'm sorry.
February 15th, head football coach Brad McCaslin has resigned from the position. I said Caslin, didn't I? Caslin.
Found his love for fitness through bodybuilding. It's going so slow. Look at those, okay, speed it up, just one. Teach me how to read again. Spoke with Coach Avercamp about how they secured their win and the season as a whole. So what was that last